for a lot of reasons. The first is because of how I met Andrew Tate. Totally weird story. Andrew Tate was at the Ritz in London when me and my husband first fell in love, and he was with a mutual friend of ours who I'm not going to name, doesn't matter. I met him as I was having this dinner with my husband and his friend. Andrew Tate was there. I had no idea who he was. This is kind of before he really took off on the internet, even though I think he was known to some. He was not at all known to me. He was very nice to me. I have nothing bad to say about how he treated me. He was very kind. He wasn't wearing glasses inside as he does now. I think that's kind of his online persona. But he was very kind. I didn't speak to him very much, obviously. I was in love with my husband, like falling in love. So I spoke to my husband the entire time. But, and here's a very interesting but, I had my assistant at the time with me who happened to be Romanian. She's born in Romania, speaks Romanian, happened to have been in the United States, because she was playing tennis at university. And then she worked for me for a couple of years, and she wasn't a very good assistant. That's why she's not with me anymore. And she was also a young woman who was obsessed with Instagram, this kind of a girl that would pose seductively on the internet, right? And she spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him, right? They were having a conversation. I don't know if he was speaking to her in Romanian. I don't even know if he speaks Romanian, but I do know that he spoke to her. And at the end of this dinner, as I am not paying attention because I've got butterflies in my stomach and I'm falling in love with my husband, she comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania. I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania. And I'm sitting here going, I don't even know what you're talking about. He's not even Romanian. He's a UK citizen. Maybe he's American. He doesn't sound Romanian, doesn't look Romanian. I don't know what you're saying. And she also said a lot of stupid things. So I didn't really give too much air to what she said. It just didn't really make sense to me. I don't know if she meant to say that he had approached her, which, by the way, if he did, she would have been a perfect candidate for this. She was very interested in, and eventually it was why we had to go our separate ways, one of these girls, right? Someone that wants attention, wants somebody that's going to shower them with attention, somebody that wants money. And so I just remember that one comment. It's something that she said, and I didn't look further into it because it wasn't relevant to me and it wasn't relevant to my life. So you fast forward to today, and I see these allegations of him being a rapist, human sex trafficking, whatever in Romania. And my take on this is that I do not believe that Andrew Tate is a rapist. I don't. I think that that is what people like to accuse men of when they're trying to take them down, right? Do I believe that Andrew Tate is exactly what he tells us that he is in his videos when he talks about women and he says that he thinks that women should be subservient to men, and that in his relationships, he says that he has tons of children, and that he says that in his relationships, he expects to be the more dominant one. I'm paraphrasing here, but Andrew Tate is not hiding exactly who Andrew Tate is, and always has been. And clearly he communicated exactly what it was and whatever it was that he does in Romania to my assistant, giving her the option. Maybe she wants to join. For all I know, maybe in Romania, which may be perhaps the reason he moved to Romania, whatever he was doing, being a modern Hugh Hefner, is legal. I'm taking a guess here. I don't know. But if you're a guy and you hold citizenship in America or in the United Kingdom and you decide to uproot to Romania, it's got to be because you can do a little more dodgy stuff in Romania. It's the Eastern Corridor. This is how things work, right? Romania is like Ukraine. It's an incredibly corrupt country. The governments are entirely corrupt. Now, the risk that you run is that what you are doing in Ukraine might be legal if your goal is to be a Hugh Hefner. And I think that what he did, I believe that Andrew Tate was always upfront with all of these women in the same way that when you go to work for the Playboy Mansion, they're pretty upfront with the fact that you're going to be walking around in a bikini wearing bunny ears when Hugh Hefner was alive. I believe he always communicated that and he was always upfront, right? But when you decide to do that in Romania, the risk that you run is that it's Romania. And any day when the government realizes that you have money in Romania, if you are flashing your wealth on the internet in the capacity that Andrew Tate flashes wealth on the internet, the government will make up charges to seize your wealth. And that is exactly what is happening to Andrew Tate right now. He is having his cars seized. He is having his money seized. I think they've taken over his compound, I read. There's no reason for them to do this if they're trying to discover whether or not he was a part of a human sex trafficking ring, if they're trying to discover whether or not he raped anybody. There would be absolutely no reason for them to seize his cars. It's not relevant until at least the conclusion, right, of the investigation. It's absolutely not relevant. But it's Romania. The Romanian government is corrupt. The Romanian government has to do what the Romanian government does, right? These are the Zelenskys of the world, people in that region. they steal from people, and that is the truth. What I found interesting is that because the media does hate Andrew Tate, and they have hated him long before any of this became public, they hate him again because he describes himself as an anti-feminist. He tells women that they should be beautiful. He tells men that they should be more dominant. And the internet and the media does not like that. They keep revealing private conversations that Andrew Tate has had with women. I guess that's supposed to be the media's form of evidentiary support to the idea that he's a rapist. And what ran in an article last night was a transcript of a woman basically saying that she didn't want to get a tattoo. Allegedly, all of the girls that Andrew Tate is with, they have a tattoo of his name on their body. And she says, no, I want to keep my body pure. And he's like, well, I'm paraphrasing here. If you're going to be with me, your body belongs to me and you need to get this tattoo. I do not find that to be evidence that he is a rapist, and we need to stop being so sloppy when we say that people are rapists, and we need to accept the fact that there are a lot of women that have this fetish. There are women that like to be dominated over. I had a person that I was friends with at university who was in my class, and we became friends because I was so shocked at the stories that she would tell me about her 3 different boyfriends that she managed, unbeknownst to all of them. And she was very into kinky stuff. She liked the idea of men being dominant over her. It was all of the BDSM stuff. She was into it. She liked to have those conversations when he would tell her what he was going to do with her, or when he would tell her to shut up. This was a part of her sexual kink, right? And people do not want to believe that there are women that are into this. There are. And I have to believe, because of how public of a figure that Andrew Tate has been, because of how honest he has been about his expectations in relationships and in his views of the women that he is with, or what he would do in a scenario if he was dating a girl that did this or that the women that were messaging Andrew Tate, engaging in conversations with Andrew Tate on the internet, on Instagram, via direct messaging, knew what they were getting into. And I feel that is important to say, because I am so sick of this idea that we should always accept that in every situation, a woman is a victim. I'm not empowered by that. I don't find that to be empowering, right? The Me Too movement, to me, disempowered women, because it said women never know what they're doing. They just are always little flowers, and men take advantage. The truth is that women take advantage too. And the easiest thing for women to sell to get what they want is sex, right? This is what Tag the Sponsor proves. I want to be rich, I want to have money, and I don't want to work, so I'm going to sell sex. I have no talent and I want to be an actress, so I'm going to sell sex. There's even an element of this, by the way, when you start hearing stories about how Harry and Meghan got together. We spoke about this yesterday when he talks about how he showed up at her hotel in London, Soho House, and as soon as he opened the door, she threw herself on him and got naked. Yeah, because Meghan wanted to get with the prince. You know, she was kind of like, this is my last shot in life. I'm 40 years old, almost 40 years old. I'm going to get with this prince and make him love me, and I'm going to have sex with him, premarital sex with him, because that's what I want to do. And clearly it worked, right? Sex is a power that women have. Being beautiful is a power. Being aesthetic, being feminine is a power that women have. And women tend to wield that power heavily throughout society. And so I want to be very clear that I do not agree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle. Not whatsoever. Not as a Christian person do I agree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle. But two things can be true at once. You can disagree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle while also acknowledging that the women that involved themselves with him, right, the women that are now angry and turning their backs and saying, well, you know, I felt that I thought I was going to be with him forever. I thought I was going to be the only one, while also acknowledging that they also contributed themselves to this. They did this intentionally. They knew what they were getting into. Perhaps it was for money. Perhaps it was for fame. It likely was for a certain lifestyle that he provided, but that is what you call an exchange. So there's going to be a lot more to the story. I'm sure more things are going to be revealed as we go along. Thus far, I have not been surprised by anything that I have seen, but, we'll keep covering the story and we will see where it ends. And that's all I have to say about that.